I wasn't even there, Your Honor. The lie lands smoothly, rehearsed. Blake Hartfield, 22 years old, sits at the defendant's table in a grey Armani suit, hands folded, expression practiced and innocent. His attorney, Gerald Moss from Whitfield and Partners, nods slightly like they've planned this. Judge Frank Coprio doesn't respond immediately. He's reading something in the case file. 30 seconds pass. 40. Blake shifts in his seat, glances at his attorney. Moss stays perfectly still. Finally, Judge Coprio looks up. You weren't there. No, Your Honor, I was home that night. This is a case of mistaken identity. Judge Coprio sets down the file. He removes his glasses, cleans them slowly with a cloth from his desk. He puts them back on. Miss Lewis, read the charges. Court Clerk Deborah Lewis stands. Case 2024 CR 9547. State of Rhode Island versus Blake Alexander Hartfield. Charges: aggravated assault, hate crime enhancement, witness tampering, and perjury. Blake's expression doesn't change. Calm, confident, innocent. Judge Coprio leans back in his chair. Mr. Hartfield, before we go any further, I want to make something very clear. Lying to a police officer is obstruction. Lying in a written statement is fraud. But lying to me under oath in my courtroom, he pauses, that's perjury. It carries a separate sentence. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor. That's why I'm telling the truth. I wasn't there. Judge Coprio nods slowly. All right. Let's test that truth. Prosecutor Chen, call your first witness. Assistant District Attorney Michael Chen stands, straightening his tie. The state calls Detective Sarah Ortiz, Providence Police Major Crimes Unit. A woman in her 40s approaches the stand. Dark hair pulled back, detective shield visible on her belt. She's sworn in. Subscribe if you believe lying under oath should have real consequences. Detective Ortiz, you were the lead investigator on this case. Yes. I was assigned on October 7th after the victim, Marcus Williams, was admitted to Rhode Island Hospital with life-threatening injuries. What were those injuries? Fractured skull, broken jaw, 3 broken ribs, collapsed lung, severe lacerations requiring 47 stitches, concussion. He was in ICU for 6 days. The courtroom is silent. Blake's expression remains unchanged. What caused these injuries? Mr. Williams was assaulted by multiple individuals outside the Mercury Lounge on Wickenden Street at approximately 1:43 a.m. on October 7th. Witnesses reported a group of 4 men attacked him without provocation. Did you identify those men? Yes. Through witness statements, security camera footage, and physical evidence, we identified 4 suspects. The defendant, Blake Hartfield, was identified as the primary aggressor. Blake leans toward his attorney, whispers something. Moss shakes his head slightly. Detective, what did the witnesses tell you? Ortiz pulls out her report. We interviewed 7 witnesses. All 7 identified the defendant as the person who initiated the assault. 2 witnesses knew him personally from Providence College. They stated he approached Mr. Williams, used a racial slur and struck him in the face without warning. The other 3 suspects then joined the assault. What racial slur? Ortiz reads from the report. Multiple witnesses heard the defendant call Mr. Williams the N-word, followed by, "You don't belong in this neighborhood." Judge Caprio's jaw tightens. Blake stares at the table. What happened after the initial strike? Mr. Williams fell to the ground. The defendant and 3 accomplices continued the assault for approximately 45 seconds. Witnesses described them kicking Mr. Williams repeatedly while he was down. One witness, Amanda Chen, attempted to intervene and was pushed away. Another witness, David Park, called 911. The suspects fled when they heard sirens. Did you recover any physical evidence? Yes. Mr. Williams's blood was found on the defendant's shoes, recovered during a search warrant execution at his residence. DNA analysis confirmed a match. We also recovered the defendant's cell phone, which contained text messages sent before and after the assault. Chen picks up a document. Detective Ortiz, what did those text messages say? Ortiz reads. At 11:52 p.m., approximately 2 hours before the assault, the defendant texted his friend group chat, "Mercury tonight, let's make it interesting." At 1:47 a.m., 4 minutes after the assault, he texted, "We just taught someone a lesson. Epic night." Blake's breathing quickens slightly. His attorney writes something on a legal pad. Did the defendant make any statements when you arrested him? Yes. On October 9th, we arrested him at his parents' home in Barrington. When informed of the charges, he stated, quote, "I wasn't even there. You have the wrong person. My father's attorneys will destroy this case." Did you inform him you had video evidence? Yes. He then invoked his right to counsel and refused further questioning. Chen nods. Your Honor, the state would like to present security camera footage from the Mercury Lounge. Judge Coprio gestures to the screen. Proceed. The courtroom lights dim. The screen flickers on. Timestamp. October 7th, 1:42:37 a.m. The view is from above the Mercury Lounge entrance. Wickenden Street is visible, streetlights casting yellow pools on the sidewalk. A man walks into frame from the left. Black, mid-20s, wearing a brown jacket, walking alone, hands in pockets. Then 4 figures enter from the right. The leader is clearly visible. Blake Hartfield. Same height, same build, distinctive way of walking with his shoulders back. He approaches Marcus Williams, gets in his face, gestures aggressively. Marcus raises his hands, steps back. Blake shoves him. Marcus stumbles. Blake punches him. The sound doesn't carry, but the impact is clear. Marcus falls. The other 3 join in immediately, kicking, stomping. Marcus tries to cover his head. The assault lasts 43 seconds, then sirens sound faintly. The 4 men run, disappearing right. Marcus lies motionless on the sidewalk for 11 seconds before a woman runs into frame. Amanda Chen, kneeling, pulling out her phone, yelling for help. The screen goes black. The courtroom is absolutely still. Someone in the gallery is crying softly. Judge Coprio looks at Blake. Blake is staring at his hands. Mr. Hartfield, that was you in the video? Silence. Mr. Hartfield, I asked you a question. Blake's voice is barely audible. I invoke my 5th Amendment, right? Stop. Judge Caprio's voice cuts like steel. You already testified under oath. You told this court on the record I wasn't even there. You don't get to invoke the 5th after committing perjury. Answer the question. Was that you in the video? Gerald Moss stands. Your Honor, I need to confer with my client. Your client lied to my face, Mr. Moss. He doesn't need advice. He needs to tell the truth. Sit down. Moss sits, face pale. Judge Coprio leans forward. Mr. Hartfield, I'm going to ask you one more time. If you lie again, I will hold you in contempt and add additional perjury charges. Was that you in the video assaulting Marcus Williams? Blake's hands are shaking. His voice cracks. Yes. Say it louder. Yes, Your Honor. You attacked him because of his race. Silence. Answer the question. I was drunk. I wasn't thinking. That's not what I asked. Did you use a racial slur before assaulting him? Blake's eyes fill with tears. Yes. Because you're a racist or because you were drunk? I don't know. Both. I don't know. Judge Coprio sits back. At least that's honest. Detective Ortiz, what happened during your investigation of the defendant's background? Ortiz pulls out another document. We obtained a warrant for the defendant's social media accounts and text message history. We found a pattern of racist language dating back 3 years. Multiple uses of racial slurs in private messages, jokes about minority students at Providence College, and membership in a group chat called Stay Pure that shared white supremacist content. Blake is crying now, silently. Your Honor, Ortiz continues, we also discovered that this wasn't the defendant's first incident. 2 years ago, he was involved in an altercation at a Providence College party where he called a black student a racial slur. The college handled it internally with a warning. Last year, he was escorted out of a bar in Federal Hill after using slurs toward the Hispanic bartender. No charges were filed. This is a pattern. Judge Coprio turns to the gallery. Is Marcus Williams present? A man stands slowly. Early 30s, scar visible along his jawline, walking with a slight limp. He approaches the front of the courtroom, doesn't take the witness stand. He stands directly in front of Blake's table. His voice is steady, controlled. I was walking home from work. I'm a nurse at Hasbro Children's Hospital. I'd just finished a double shift, 16 hours taking care of sick kids. I was tired. I was thinking about getting home, taking a shower, sleeping for 10 hours. He pauses. Then someone called me the N-word. I turned around. I didn't even have time to process what was happening before he punched me. I remember hitting the ground. I remember trying to protect my head. I remember thinking, this is how I die. On a sidewalk in Providence because someone decided I don't belong. Marcus's voice doesn't waver. I woke up 6 days later in ICU. My mother was sitting next to my bed, crying. She'd been there for 144 hours straight. The first thing she said when I opened my eyes was, "Thank God you're alive." The second thing was, "Who did this to you?" I told her I didn't know. Just some white kid who thought I was in his neighborhood. He looks directly at Blake. Blake won't meet his eyes. I had to relearn how to eat solid food because my jaw was wired shut for 8 weeks. I had to take a leave of absence from work because I couldn't stand for full shifts with broken ribs. I had to move back in with my mother because I was scared to walk home alone at night. I'm 32 years old and I'm afraid of the dark now because of you. Marcus's voice finally breaks. You looked at me and decided I was less than human. You decided my life didn't matter because of my skin color. You almost killed me for existing. And then you sat in this courtroom and lied about it like I wasn't worth the truth. He steps back. Judge Coprio nods. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Please sit. Marcus walks back to his seat slowly, his mother gripping his hand. Judge Coprio turns to Blake. Stand up. Blake stands, shaking, face wet with tears. You lied to police. You lied in your written statement. You lied under oath in my courtroom. You told me you weren't there. You looked me in the eye and committed perjury. Why? Blake's voice is a whisper. Because I thought I could get away with it. My father said his attorneys would make it go away. He said without a confession, it's just witness testimony. He said to deny everything. Your father told you to lie under oath? Yes. Gerald Moss stands. Your Honor, attorney-client privilege. Your client just testified his father instructed him to commit perjury. That's not privileged, Mr. Moss. That's criminal conspiracy. Judge Coprio makes a note. Sit down. Moss sits, visibly shaken. Judge Coprio picks up the case file. Mr. Hartfield, based on security camera footage, DNA evidence, witness testimony, your own text messages, and your admission under oath after multiple lies, I find you guilty on all charges. Aggravated assault, hate crime enhancement, witness tampering through intimidation, and perjury. Blake's legs buckle. He grabs the table. But here's where it gets worse for you. You didn't just commit a hate crime, you lied about it. You wasted this court's time. You forced Mr. Williams to sit in this room and relive his trauma while you pretended to be innocent. You showed no remorse until you were caught. That matters. Judge Coprio's voice is ice. Sentencing. Aggravated assault with hate crime enhancement. 8 years Rhode Island Department of Corrections. Witness tampering. 2 years. Consecutive. Perjury, 3 years consecutive. Total sentence, 13 years incarceration. Blake collapses into his chair. Gerald Moss drops his pen. Additionally, $500,000 fine payable to Marcus Williams for medical expenses, lost wages, and pain and suffering. Upon release, 15 years supervised probation with mandatory counseling for substance abuse and racial sensitivity training. And you will write a letter of apology to Mr. Williams, not for the court, for him. If he chooses not to read it, that's his right. Judge Coprio leans forward. Here's what makes your lie a big mistake, Mr. Hartfield. If you'd told the truth from the beginning, pled guilty, shown genuine remorse, I might have considered a lighter sentence. Maybe 7 years, maybe 5 with good behavior. But you lied. You wasted time. You showed me you're not just a violent racist. You're a coward who attacks people and then runs from responsibility. He picks up another document. I'm recommending to the Rhode Island General Assembly that perjury and violent crime cases carry enhanced penalties. I'm recommending mandatory minimum sentences for racially motivated assaults. And I'm recommending that any defendant caught lying under oath forfeit their right to reduced sentencing through plea deals. These reforms will be called the Williams Accountability Act. Your lies, your assault, your belief that you could get away with it, will be cited in every legislative hearing. You thought you could lie to me. That was your big mistake. Blake is sobbing, barely able to breathe. Finally, I'm ordering an investigation into your father's instruction to commit perjury. If evidence supports criminal charges, he'll be arrested for obstruction of justice and subornation of perjury. Your lie might send him to prison too. Judge Coprio closes the file. Bailiff, remand Mr. Hartfield to custody immediately. Transport to ACI intake. No bail pending appeal. 2 bailiffs approach. Blake looks at his attorney, desperate. Moss looks away. The bailiffs guide Blake toward the side door. He glances back at Marcus Williams. Marcus stares back, expressionless. Blake drops his gaze. The door closes. He's gone. If you believe perjury should result in enhanced sentences, subscribe to Order in the Court. Judge Coprio turns to Marcus. Mr. Williams, no sentence will undo what Mr. Hartfield did to you. But the record will reflect that he's a violent racist and a liar. Those facts will follow him for the rest of his life. You have this court's deepest respect for your courage. Marcus nods, unable to speak. 6 months later, Blake Hartfield sits in ACI maximum security, cell 7D. His appeals were denied, all 3. Courts found the evidence overwhelming, the sentence appropriate. His father, Thomas Hartfield, was arrested and charged with obstruction and subornation of perjury. Trial pending. Blake's former friends from Providence College have distanced themselves. His social media accounts were deleted after death threats. The Stay Pure group chat members were identified through his phone records. 2 were expelled from college. 1 lost a job offer. Marcus Williams completed physical therapy. The limp is permanent but manageable. He returned to Hasbro Children's Hospital, back to full shifts. The hospital named him Employee of the Year. He received the Rhode Island Nursing Association Courage Award. He still walks a different route home. He still flinches when groups of young white men approach. Some scars don't heal. Judge Coprio's recommended reforms passed unanimously. The Williams Accountability Act became law in March. Perjury and violent crime cases now carries mandatory enhanced sentencing. Racially motivated assaults carry mandatory minimums of 10 years. Defendants caught lying under oath are ineligible for plea deals or reduced sentencing. 7 other states are considering similar legislation. Blake's case is taught in every Rhode Island law school as precedent for perjury consequences. His courtroom lie, his tears after being caught, his father's arrest. All of it is public record, used to teach future attorneys what happens when clients lie. Year 5. Blake has served 5 years of his 13-year sentence. He's eligible for parole review in Year 9 if he completes all required programming. He attends racial sensitivity counseling twice weekly. He works in the prison library. He wrote Marcus Williams 17 letters. Marcus read 1, then stopped. The 1 letter Marcus read, Mr. Williams, I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect you to read this. I'm writing because I need to say it, even if you never hear it. I attacked you because you're black, not because I was drunk. Not because I was confused, because I'm a racist who believed white supremacist garbage and decided you didn't belong in my neighborhood. I almost killed you for existing. Then I lied about it. To police, to the judge, under oath. I looked at you sitting in that courtroom and lied to your face because I thought my father's money would save me. I thought I was untouchable. I was wrong about everything. About race, about superiority, about consequences, about you. You're a nurse who saves children's lives. I'm a criminal who destroys them. You're a hero. I'm the villain in my own story. I can't undo what I did. I can't give you back the life you had before I attacked you. I can't make you stop flinching when white guys approach. I can't heal the scars I carved into your body and your mind. But I can tell you this. I will spend every day for the rest of my life regretting what I did. Not because I got caught. Because you didn't deserve it. Because nobody deserves it. Because I was a monster who thought he was a person. I'm sorry. Those words are worthless coming from me. But they're all I have. I'm sorry. Blake Hartfield. Marcus read it once, folded it, put it in a drawer. He's never responded. He doesn't owe Blake forgiveness. He doesn't owe him anything. Year 13. Blake is released after serving his full sentence. No early parole. He complied with all programming, but was denied early release. The parole board cited lack of genuine remorse beyond scripted apologies. He returns to Rhode Island, moves into a halfway house, begins supervised probation. He's 35 years old, with a violent felony record and perjury conviction. Employment is nearly impossible. His father is serving 4 years for obstruction. His mother won't speak to him. Marcus Williams is now nursing director at Hasbro Children's Hospital. He married last year. He runs a non-profit providing trauma support for hate crime victims. He's testified before Congress twice on the Williams Accountability Act. He's rebuilt his life, despite the permanent limp, despite the scars, despite the fear that occasionally resurfaces. Judge Frank Coprio, reviewing case files 10 years after the Hartfield case, pulls the folder. He reads Blake's courtroom lie. "I wasn't even there, Your Honor." He reads the perjury charge, the 13-year sentence. The Williams Accountability Act citation count, 47 times in legislative records across 11 states. Blake Hartfield thought he could lie to a judge. He thought money and attorneys would save him. He thought denying the truth would make it disappear. He was wrong about everything. "I wasn't even there," he'd said, looking Judge Coprio in the eye. The biggest lie became the biggest mistake. Because cameras don't lie. DNA doesn't lie. And judges remember every word spoken under oath. Blake lied once. It cost him 13 years. Should perjury and violent crime cases always result in enhanced mandatory sentences? Tell us below.